If you feel stuck, if you feel unmotivated and sort of even depressed in your pursuit for awakening, in your spiritual path, then here is the truth. Now, I'm making this video because this is a very real problem. This is a very common problem. We all seek different things, and as we evolve, we begin to seek mature things. And through this quest, when some of us come to the path of spirituality, it doesn't matter what traditions we follow, but when we are seeking something that is non-physical and infinite in its essence, then there comes a phase of total dispassion and uninterest in everyone and in everything. Each of us go through this differently, but this is a very important issue that we need to address. And this is a critical issue because if we do not understand the deeper meaning of reality and why this is happening, then it can sort of become dangerous to us. We can go in a downward spiral, we can, leave the path of spirituality, and even worse, we can get into depression and attract other illnesses. So, let us understand this. As per Advaita Vedanta, we understand that there is one infinite reality and there is one universal consciousness. And the world that we are experiencing, the world of time-space reality, the world of Maya, is because of our individual ego, our individual identification. We have identified ourselves with this body-mind complex and we are experiencing this reality from the perspective of the body-mind complex. But all of this is ultimately not real as per Vedanta, as per the teachings of Shankaracharya. Many people object to this because they do not understand this deeply. On the surface, it sounds like nihilism. It sounds very negative when we say the world is unreal. But there is a very subtle point that we need to understand here. When Shankaracharya says that Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Napara, he means that the world as we perceive it is unreal. And detaching ourselves from the body and mind and from the world is simply a step that we take temporarily to understand who we are in our essence and to understand Brahman or that consciousness, only to come back to the world and to accept it for what it is. So when we are going through this process of disidentification, that is when we feel this kind of dispassion, uninterest and disconnectedness from the world, from our work, from our hobbies, from our loved ones even. This is very common and this question keeps coming and I try to search for answers to this very issue. But the truth is very profound and this is simply a temporary phase that we go through. And some teachers call this even awakening, being dispassionate towards the world and being disconnected. It happens after awakening. But I don't think so. Awakening or enlightenment, as per my understanding and as per my study of Advaita Vedanta, is not a negative experience in any way. It is the experience of Purnam, of completeness, of absolute bliss and fulfillment. But these kinds of things that we go through, of dispassion, of disconnectedness, are some things that happens. This is just a common happening in the life of a seeker, in the journey of a seeker. But there is a solution. The solution is to understand the truth for what it is completely, and that is what we will do through this video. Now, if you are a follower of Vedanta and the teachings of Shankaracharya, one of the most popular and one of the most effective methods to understand God or the nature of reality is the Method of Neti Neti. Neti Neti means not this, not this. Basically, as per the teachings of Shankara, that God or ultimate reality is beyond words, it is beyond language, and it is beyond any boundaries. So it cannot be defined, because to define something is to put a boundary on something. And God is that which cannot be defined. So the only way to get there, or let's say the most effective and the logical way to get there, if we cannot positively define God, is to negatively remove all the things from our life that is not God. This is the process of Neti Neti. Not this, not this. So Shankaracharya does this in his famous Nirvana Shatakam. He says, मनोबुद्ध्यहंकार चित्तानि नाहम न च श्रोत्र जिह्वे न च घ्राण नेत्रे न च व्योम भूमिर्न तेजो न वायु चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम. In the first verse, he is saying that we are not the manas, buddhi, ahankara, or chitta, which are the four aspects of the mind. We are not the sense organs of perception. We are not the panchabhutas, which are the five fundamental elements. So basically, he is making use of this principle or the method of Neti Neti. He's saying that I'm not that, I'm not this, I'm not the world, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. So this is how Nirvana Shatakam goes. At some point, he says, Na dharmo na charto na kamo na mokshaha. He says, I'm not even dharma, kama, artha, and I'm not even moksha. I'm not even enlightenment, and I don't even seek enlightenment because my nature is already free and I am that which is already free. This is a very profound truth, but we need to go deep to understand this. But in every verse, he says, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. So he's not just negatively removing that which we are not, but he's also pointing towards that which we are. So, in the process of negation, we find dispassion because we are dissolving everything that is dualistic. We are dissolving our individual identity as the ego, and with our ego, all our passions, all our attachments, all our interest towards the external world will naturally dissolve. And in this phase, experiencing dispassion and disconnectedness is quite normal. But when we do not understand the deeper truth to this, there is a tendency to give up. There is a tendency to leave this path and go somewhere else because this will not feel right and this will feel like a negative experience. But in fact, it is not. In this process of seeking, we are losing something which we never were, and we are finding something that which always was, that which was us in our essence, and that which is infinite and boundless. And in Nirvana Shatakam, when we come to the last verse, Shankaracharya says, Aham nirvikalpo nirakara rupa vibhutva cha sarvatra sarvendriyanam na cha sangatam naiva muktirnameya chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. The final verse, we need to examine this carefully to get a solution to this problem, because here Shankaracharya is trying to positively point towards that reality which we are. He's saying, Aham nirvikalpo nirakara rupaha. I am without any forms or modifications. And he then goes on to say, I am all pervading. Vibhutva cha sarvatra sarvendriyanam. I am all pervading and I empower the senses. I am detached from everything, but yet nothing exists apart from me. Now just try to grasp the profundity of this statement. I am detached from everything, but yet nothing exists apart from me. In this way, I am truly limitless and everything is me. This is the last step that we need to take in Vedanta, where we come from a place of negation towards Purnam and towards total embrace of the world and of the reality. This is very subtle, but this is what we need to understand to overcome this disconnectedness and dispassion. First of all, we need to simply accept the fact that this will happen to us, and we just need to go through a certain period of detachment and dispassion, because here we are slowly negating everything that which we think we were, but we weren't. So this is a period and this is a phase that we have to go through. But all the while we need to have in mind that which we are in our essence. Shankara says, Nacha Sangatam Naiva Muktir Nameya. I don't have any limits and nothing exists apart from me. And he says, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am the nature of pure consciousness and bliss. I am Shiva himself. I am God himself. So this is what we need to understand. Our true nature is fulfillment. Our true nature is Chit Ananda, infinite consciousness and infinite bliss. So if we are truly infinite, if we are the infinite consciousness and the infinite bliss in our nature, then how can we experience dispassion, disinterest and depression? This is simply the play of ego, and this is simply a phase where we are dumping everything which we are not. Because we've thought that we were the ego, we had a lot of attachments and we had a lot of relationships in this world. Those relationships were real, our passions were real, our interests were real because the ego was real. But once the ego began appearing as unreal, then all the passions and all the interests began to diminish, because of which we temporarily experienced dispassion and disconnectedness and all these things that we go through. But throughout this journey, if we remember that Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham, I am the nature of the infinite consciousness and the infinite joy, and I am God himself, I am the creator, I am everything that there is. So through this understanding, we again take the next step towards embracing the reality. We will again come to an understanding that the world is real. Everything is real because everything is one, everything is Brahman. So the world as the world is unreal, but the world as Brahman is real. And the dualistic world is unreal, but the world that is holistic is real. And the ego is unreal, but my true identity as that consciousness is real. In this way, everything is real and everything is one. And I am the world, I am the universe. And there is no universe apart from me, and there is no me apart from universe. Like this, when we come to the final revelations and final understanding of what Vedanta is trying to say, that is when we will begin to experience true joy and fulfillment, which is the promise of Vedanta. So all I have to say here is that this is simply a phase. At first, we will detach from the world using Neti Neti as a tool simply to come to an intellectual and an experiential understanding of who we are. And then the next step is to embrace the world as that awareness or consciousness, as God, and then experience that true fulfillment. I hope you found value in this, and I hope you found some clarity through this. And just the study of Vedanta in an honest and diligent way can save us and guide us towards that ultimate goal. And we need to be eternally thankful for the great beings like Adi Shankaracharya and the other great rishis and gurus who gave us these teachings and principles, which are sort of frameworks to understand this reality and experience ourselves as who we truly are. And next, you can check out this video that we had made on consciousness as the source code of reality. It's an interesting video to explore consciousness. So you can check out this next, and I will see you in the next one. Shivoham.